Thank you, everybody, for coming to the Aaron Torres Podcast YouTube page. If you could do me a quick favor, see that little subscribe button at the bottom of your screen? Go ahead, click that subscribe button. Really does help our channel grow, our audience grow, and I really do appreciate it more than you know. So click that subscribe button. Appreciate your support. Now, here's the video that you came here for. Want to go ahead and talk about a story that we have certainly covered for well over a month now. A story that at some points it felt like was never going to come to a conclusion, but one that did just come to a conclusion moments ago. I am talking about the recruitment of high-profile transfer DJ Wagner, and I think everybody knows the story, but obviously was at one point the #1 high school basketball player in the class of 2023, commits to Kentucky, plays at Kentucky last year, has kind of an up-and-down season, and then after John Calipari leaves for Arkansas, ends up hitting the transfer portal. What was interesting about DJ was the last couple of weeks, it's been stone quiet. He didn't enter the NBA draft, so it's not like he's going through the draft process, but he wasn't really, seemingly making a ton of moves since entering the portal. Took a visit to USC, but there were rumors about was it actually, frankly, to see a girl as opposed to actually seriously consider USC, was supposed to visit Florida, that fell through, visited Arkansas, John Calipari, but we didn't get a commitment afterward. And not only did we not get a commitment after DJ Wagner went to Arkansas, didn't get a commitment the week after, another week passed, another week after that passed, and everybody's sitting there saying, what the heck is going on with DJ Wagner? In a lot of ways, it felt like that gif of Rose from Titanic. It's been 84 years. And that's how it's felt. That's how it's felt covering this DJ Wagner recruitment. We're sitting here waiting for any piece of news, waiting for any piece of information. Well, just moments ago, that information came down. And DJ Wagner, who, as I've said many times, I believe is one of the best players in the transfer portal, one of the best guards in the transfer portal, he officially committed to the Arkansas Razorbacks. So just a couple questions. First off, question number one, can anything stop the Big Pig invasion? That is right. Can anything stop the Big Pig invasion? You see it right there. Make sure to follow our Torres on HOGS account for all your late-breaking Arkansas news. We also have our Big Pig invasion tease at AaronTorresOnline.com. But also, now that DJ Wagner is officially a Razorback, I don't think he's the final piece, but he might be the final big piece. And I think it's time to talk about him. And it's time to talk about what to expect from the 2024-2025 Razorbacks. All right, so first of all, DJ, in terms of the Arkansas thing, listen, I just laid it out, but I'm not surprised that we got to this point, okay? There were so many reasons that it was always going to be Arkansas. And I'll say this, like, I get a lot of stuff wrong, but what did I keep telling everybody that listens to this channel while this recruitment went on? I said, guys, girls, listen. I know it's taking longer than you want. I know you want to get them in tow. I know you're worried, then you're not worried, then you're worried again. But at the end of the day, I never felt like there was really a reason to panic. At the end of the day, two things with DJ Wagner are true that I've said all along. One, he has never been a kid that is super public, super in the media as far as his recruitment is concerned. Even during his high school recruitment, when everyone knew it was going to be Kentucky or Louisville and probably Kentucky, I don't ever even remember him really doing real tangible interviews. There were moments when people thought Louisville had the lead. There were moments when people thought Kentucky had the lead, but it didn't come from DJ Wagner. It didn't come from his camp. It came from speculation. It came from rumor. It came from innuendo. And when he committed, it was kind of under the cloak of darkness, even in high school, even as an elite prospect. So I wasn't really worried. And then I think the other thing is, besides the obvious, besides the fact that he and his family have deep ties to John Calipari, DJ Wagner's dad played for Calipari at Memphis. DJ Wagner's grandfather played with Kenny Payne, the lead Arkansas assistant at Louisville. Even with all that, the other thing that I kept going back to with DJ Wagner was there wasn't a better option for him. And a couple things. One, remember, he did not enter the NBA draft. So it's not like he's hypothetically a Coleman Hawkins, a Jackson Robinson, whoever. I'm just trying to think of names of guys that are still in the portal, a Jalen Wells, a Cam Christie. He had to come back to college basketball. And you looked around the landscape, there wasn't really a good landing spot for him. Kentucky clearly moved on without him. Signed Lamont Butler and Kirk Risa.
UConn, there's no spot for him at UConn. There's no spot for him at St. John. So you look around, there just wasn't a good option besides Arkansas. So now that he's a Razorback, let's talk about how he fits, and let's talk about what I think the upside is of this team. And really, let's talk about the player first as well. Because one thing I've been consistent on, besides the fact that I've said consistently, I think he's going to be a Razorback. Don't worry, Big Pig Nation. Two, what I would also say is I have been higher on him than most. I follow all the other portal recruiting rankings, and I'm not saying anybody else is right, anybody else is wrong, Torres is right, but I think he's completely undervalued. Because two things with DJ Wagner can be true, but we have to look at it contextually. One, is it true that he did not look like the number one high school player in America this year at Kentucky? Yes, I think that's fair to say. He struggled. It's okay. He's 18 years old playing in one of the toughest conferences in college basketball. But two, this narrative that it was a disastrous season just simply isn't true. And I don't understand why he has taken so much negative criticism and blame over the course of the last couple months. So first off, everybody says, oh, he wasn't very good. Well, he basically averaged double figures as a freshman in the toughest conference in college basketball. And I think what's easy to forget is that early in the season, before he got hurt and before Kentucky's roster got all jumbled because a bunch of guys were hurt and then came back, he was really good as a freshman. First 16 games as a freshman, so essentially the first half of the year, he scored in double figures in 10 of them, okay? Had 14, 6, and 5 against the North Carolina Tar Heels, who ended up winning the ACC and were number one seed in the NCAA tournament. 14, 3, and 3 in an SEC opening win over Florida at Florida, which obviously turned into a very good team. But beyond that, he then gets hurt. He then comes back right at the same time that Reed Sheppard and Rob Dillingham are starting to establish himself. And he became kind of the quote-unquote scapegoat or guy who took the majority of the blame when things went wrong. By the way, remember that 3-game home losing streak for Kentucky that everybody freaked out about? Who they lose to? Florida. They lost to what? Florida, Tennessee, and then Gonzaga in 3 straight home games. 2 of them DJ Wagner didn't play in. So you wanted more Reed and Rob. You got it in those games, and it didn't go well. And this is what I kept saying. Listen, and I'm so glad that once the NBA draft is over, we finally might move past the dumb Reed Rob conversation. Reed and Rob were incredible. Reed Sheppard and Rob Dillingham. But at the end of the day, I've said consistently, and I believe that the best version of Kentucky basketball was when DJ Wagner was fully healthy at the point guard position. When that happened, it allowed Rob and Reed to be the best versions of themselves. Reed Sheppard is great, but he's probably a little bit better off the ball as a secondary ball handler. He's probably a little bit better when somebody else is running the offense and he can kind of catch and create. He's probably better off the ball. Now he could play point guard, but I don't think when he's running the offense and trying to set everybody else up, that's the best version. And Rob Dillingham, I've been consistent on. I think he's a great 25-minute a game off the bench kind of guy, but when you ask him to play 31, 32 minutes, I don't think that's the best version. And so when DJ was healthy, it allowed you to have Reed Sheppard come in, be a secondary ball handler, be a backup point guard, still get his 31, 32 minutes because he played a lot every game, and it allowed Rob Dillingham to be the best version of himself as well. So this isn't a deep conversation on the 2024 Kentucky Wildcats, but I think it's important context. And so I've always been a believer, and now that he is an Arkansas Razorback, I believe we're going to see a great version of Arkansas with the roster pieces that have been put together. Because DJ slides in at the 1. He's a natural 1, ball in his hands, setting himself up, setting others up. But then what that means is it allows Janelle Davis, to slide off the ball. And from there, Janelle Davis can be the best version of himself, where he's not running the point, where he's not setting up other people, where he doesn't have to be the key playmaker and distributor. I think Janelle Davis has a chance to be all SEC, maybe SEC player of the year, because he is going to be the best version of himself. Boogie Fland is a really good player. I don't think you wanted him playing 31 minutes a game as a point guard as a freshman in the SEC. So now he becomes that third guard, that secondary ball handler, that guy that can play on the ball, can play off the ball, whatever. And then from there, you got 3 really good guards. You got 2 really good wings in Carter Knox and Billy Richmond. And you also, I like the front court as well. Adu Thiero at the 4. I think he's more naturally a 4 than a 3. Even though obviously, you know, if he has to play the 3, it's fine. But I think he's better at the 4. Athletic, runs the floor, etc. Great defender. And then you have Jonas Adu and Big Z at the 5. And Big Z, by the way, I was going through some stuff on Big Z. I think it's easy to forget. Big Z, like everybody focuses on that first game. He had a couple other really good games. Mississippi State, he completely dominated the paint. And I think a tighter rotation, a full offseason. Remember, Big Z didn't even get to the United States until like what? I think October or November of last year, doesn't play until January. You give that guy a whole offseason, I think we are going to see the best version of Big Z as well. So when I look at this Arkansas team, I'm here to tell you, listen, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that I believe they're the best team in the country, because I don't. But what I'll say is this. It's hard to find many teams with a better top 8 than the Arkansas Razorbacks. What do you have in the top 8? You got 3 McDonald's All-Americans, if you include DJ Wagner. So DJ Wagner, Boogie Flynn, Carter Knox. You got John L. Davis, one of the best college guards in America. Jonas Adu, veteran, experienced player. And then your backups are a Billy Richmond, who's a 5-star kid, a Big Z with NBA upside. I really, really like that team. And so, again, is it better than Kansas? No, it's not better than Kansas. Is it better than probably Alabama? No, I don't think it's better than Alabama. Alabama's really good. But you start to get to that second tier of teams in college hoops, it is really good, really talented, and frankly, unlike some previous years with Kentucky, it's a blend of a lot of veterans with a lot of young talent as well. And so, yes, many of the veterans are new to the Calipari system, John L. Davis, Jonas Adu, etc. But you have 3 guys that have played for Coach Cal, 3 guys that are familiar with him, his coaching style, his system, etc. Then you got the high upside NBA guys, the high upside portal guys. And I'm here to tell you, this Arkansas team is really, really, really good. Again, I think it's right in that mix behind Alabama as the best team in the SEC. I think Alabama is the best team in the SEC. I think you can make the case for Arkansas, Auburn, Tennessee, maybe Kentucky is number 2. But if you don't think this Arkansas team has a chance, and we'll see, by the way, what the final pieces are. But if you don't think this Arkansas team has a chance to potentially make a Final Four, potentially do some real damage in March, you got another thing coming to you. So congrats to Arkansas fans. The long wait is over. DJ Wagner is officially a Razorback, and you can go ahead and start getting excited for next college basketball season. Not that you were not already, and not that there are not more pieces to come. If you enjoyed this video, do me a quick favor. Make sure to subscribe to the Aaron Torres Pod YouTube channel. New clips, new videos going up every single day. By the way, AaronTorresOnline.com/merchandise. If you want your big pig